Manchester United is one of the most valuable and successful teams in the world. However, in the last years it is being ruined by a single family, and today we're gonna talk about them. Welcome to Reporte 7. Nobody can deny that the last years have been a complete disaster for Manchester United. Under the guidance of Sir Alex Ferguson, the team didn't spend a single season without winning at least one trophy. However, it is now 8 years since the retirement of the Scotsman back in 2013, and the club has only managed to win 3 trophies. Money is not a problem for Manchester United because every single year the team is among the teams that generate the highest income in Europe. Although, side note here, not all of that money is being reinvested in the team. That's one of the problems that we are going to talk about in these videos. However, even so, the team does have huge amounts of money to spend, and that has allowed them to bring in significant talent such as the likes of Angel Di Maria or Paul Pogba, both of which were signed for record amounts back in their day, or managers such as Luis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho, who certainly don't come cheap. So if money isn't the problem and talent isn't either, then what's wrong at Manchester United? Well, to answer that question we have to look all the way up to the ownership, and there we find the Glazer family, and today we're going to talk about them. The patriarch of the family was Malcolm Glazer. He was born in the United States in the decade of the 1920s. He was born in a Jewish family of Lithuanian origin. He wasn't born into wealth. Actually, his family was poor, and he was left an orphan by the age of 15 years old when his father passed away. Young Malcolm starts his commercial adventures selling watches, and then he moves on to other activities until he eventually started investing in real estate, which is how he built his empire. Fast forward to the decade of the 1990s, and Malcolm is already a millionaire, and in 1995 he decides to get into the sports industry, and he buys the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for $192 million, which at the time was a record amount for an NFL team. He then decides that his team needs a new stadium, and he also decides that he doesn't want to invest any of his own money to build this stadium, so he goes to the city's government and tells them to build the stadium for his team, or else he will take the franchise to some other city. This was met with resistance by different groups, but eventually the interests of Malcolm prevailed, and the city had to create a new tax specifically to gather the funds for the stadium, and the stadium was built for $168 million. Nowadays this is a common blackmail technique, because it is blackmail. But I imagine that back in the 90s it was really innovative, and therefore it was really effective. So that way the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got their new stadium without the Glazers investing almost any money. Nowadays the Buccaneers have an estimated value, estimated by Forbes, of $2.94 billion, which means that their value has multiplied times 15 since Malcolm Glazer bought them back in 95, which is obviously a ridiculous return of investment. So here we have already a crystal clear image of who Malcolm Glazer is. He has laser vision for business opportunities, but he's also a person who doesn't really care about anything else other than his personal profit. And we can't also say that he's particularly a sports aficionado, or that he gets into the industry because he enjoys sports. I think we can say that he gets into sports because he sees there a fantastic opportunity for both income and appreciation, which is every investor's dream. In the 27 years that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have belonged to the Glazer family, they've only managed to win the Super Bowl 2 times, which I don't believe we can call particularly successful. And as I told you, it reveals that this family is not they are not fans of the sport. They don't do this because of passion or because they enjoy the sport. So from sunny Florida we go all the way to rainy Manchester, because in 2003 Malcolm decides to start buying Manchester United stock, and after 2 years of doing that slowly, finally in 2005 he decides to buy Manchester United. Again he meets resistance, but again he defeats it, and he purchases Manchester United for £525 million, and he does this using a financial tool which is called a leveraged buyout, or an LBO. So what is a leveraged buyout? Well, simply put, it works this way. Say I want to buy an asset that generates income. I apply for a loan to the bank to buy this asset, and I am going to pay for the loan with the income generated by my new asset. And the collateral that I am going to get my loan against is going to be precisely my new asset. So yeah, you got that correct. A leveraged buyout is a way to buy a new asset without putting any of the money yourself, and most importantly, without assuming any of the money yourself. Malcolm Glazer bought Manchester United this way for £525 million, and he immediately transferred the debt to the team. And this way, a team which had been operating for 75 years completely debt-free suddenly found itself from one day to the other indebted for over £500 million. And Malcolm Glazer used Manchester United money to purchase Manchester United for himself. In my opinion, this is a masterstroke of shithousery. The interest rate for the loan was 14%, which I believe it is a little high, but I guess when you are not the one paying the bills, you don't really care for interest rates. Malcolm Glazer passed away in 2014, leaving his empire to his 6 sons, out of which it is mostly 2 of them who manage things now, and they are Joel and Abram. And that's it. That's Malcolm. That was Malcolm Glazer. That's the Glazer family. This lovely family which now owns Manchester United, and that's how they came to be the owners of the team. That's it for today. In the next videos of this series, we'll talk about how this family has dedicated to absolutely plunder Manchester United, and just how poorly managed the team is sports-wise. But first, it did interest me that we talked about these people, who are they and who are them, and that we understood that. So that's it for today. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Let me know what you think about the Glazers and how they operate. And we'll talk about the other things in the coming videos. If you enjoyed the video, I appreciate that you subscribe to the channel and that you like it. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next week. Take care.